Yo! We began our second half on this Hawaii trip at Moke's breakfast place. I guess it's bed and breakfast. And we had to drive there. It's about a 10-minute drive from Waikiki. We got the Lychee pancakes, and then we got the loco moke, which is a variation of the loco moco, but with a ribeye steak instead of the regular hamburger patty. So the Lychee pancakes were probably like the fluffiest pancakes we've ever had. I would say, and you know, for me and Claire, it was probably the best pancakes we've ever had. And the loco moke was also very good. The ribeye steak was tender and soft, and you know, it was very good for a breakfast steak. And the taste and the textures of everything were on point. Also, the service there was quite amazing. You know, the waiter was very nice. He was funny, and so we really enjoyed the Moke's bread and breakfast. We would come there again. I think we like it as probably our favorite breakfast place in Hawaii. So yeah, check it out. Our main attraction for today is the Polynesian Cultural Center, which we will go to on their coach bus. I think it's about a 45-minute ride on the bus to the Polynesian Cultural Center. And we'll be spending the whole day there and eating at the Gateway Buffet. Claire is very excited. Hopefully there's some salmon there, salmon poke. Salmon poke. There for Claire to eat. She wants to eat a lot of salmon. So we were walking and then we found this bunny looking dog in this store. It's like the cutest dog. So we took the bus from Waikiki to the Polynesian Cultural Center. The ride took about an hour and 10 minutes or so, and it was a pretty nice and comfortable ride. If you're taking that bus, it costs about $25 per person as of April 2022. And if you want a good view on the bus, you should sit on the right side because you get a view of the ocean and everything. We just got some ice cream from Sweet as Ice Cream. It's a little ice cream stand at the Polynesian Cultural Center. It's outside the center in the marketplace. And basically they mix some fresh frozen fruit with vanilla or coconut or ice cream of your choice. And they mix the fruit in with the ice cream fresh. We bought a cup of it. It's basically about 2 scoops worth of ice cream, and we thought it was very refreshing and a good way to start off our day at the Polynesian Cultural Center. We're hanging out in the Polynesian Cultural Center Islands. This is the Hawaii Island, and we're here to watch a show about lasting traditions in Hawaii. So far at the Polynesian Cultural Center, we've seen 3 shows. Here the shows are about 10 or 15 minutes each. We saw the Hawaiian show, and then the Tahiti show, and then also the Tonga show. And then we think that the shows are pretty much the best value that you can get at the Cultural Center because they're pretty entertaining, and we really enjoyed the shows so far. At the shows there's a lot of live music involved and also a lot of dancing. And the most entertaining parts are when they involve the audience. And so, you know, we all kind of look like fools. So I think that's part of the entertainment. So we're having a really good time at the Polynesian Cultural Center so far. We've gone to 4 different shows. We went on a little canoe ride, and I think all of the shows and the canoe rides so far have been great experiences. And yeah, I think the tickets here are pretty expensive though. I think they're around $170 per person for probably the cheapest package, which includes the Gateway Buffet, which we're gonna have later today. And the most expensive packages are for the luau, but they were sold out by the time that we were trying to buy tickets. So yeah, we so far highly recommend the Polynesian Cultural Center, and we're having a really good time. Why are they having so much fun over there? We decided to take a short tram tour from the Polynesian Cultural Center. The tour goes to the Brigham Young University and also to a Mormon church nearby. So the tram tour is kind of interesting. I mean, it's not really related to any of the Polynesian Cultural Center stuff. It's just kind of like a little tram tour around the neighborhood and also to the university, which a lot of the performers at the cultural center go to. So they call it BYU, Brigham Young University. So the tram tour is kind of interesting. I mean, it's not anything related. It's not really entertaining, but it is a nice, fresh take from the cultural center. You know, you get to go outside in the neighborhood and enjoy some different scenery. It does take a while though. I think it takes about 35 minutes, so you have to kind of plan it out yourself. We just had our meal at the Gateway Buffet. As you can see, the buffet includes some live music and a lot of different foods like chicken, beef, some seafood. We thought the food was, you know, it was edible. It wasn't like that good or amazing. A lot of the food was mostly salty and very sweet. Yeah, but you know, the atmosphere was nice. It was very relaxing, and the live music was, you know, a nice touch. So the last thing we're gonna be doing here is gonna be the show. It's called like Breath of Life or something, and that's gonna be the last thing we're gonna do at the cultural center. It's been a long day. It's about 10:30 p.m. and we just got back to our Airbnb after finishing the Breath of Life show at the Polynesian Cultural Center. The show was about an hour and a half. It lasted from about 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and it was filled with a lot of dancing, a lot of music, and kind of a simple storyline. We really enjoyed the show because it was a very good production. You know, all the dances and all the lighting and all the performances were top-notch. I think that the show really capped off a nice day at the cultural center, and the show was kind of like everything that we saw during the day at the cultural center and then taken up by like 100 times. So the show was definitely worth it, and I think overall the whole experience at the Polynesian Cultural Center was worth the ticket cost, which was around $140 to $180 per person, depending on whether you got the buffet or the luau. We didn't get a chance to do the luau, but the Gateway Buffet was, you know, it was okay. The food wasn't amazing, but I think we enjoyed that part of the day in terms of just having food available for us in a comfortable environment with some live music. So overall, it's been a really long day for us. You know, the bus ride from the cultural center back to Waikiki took about an hour and 15 minutes. And yeah, so we're back now, and tomorrow we're gonna be going to enjoy some tonkatsu and some other restaurants. And on Sunday, which is basically our last day in Waikiki, we're gonna be, you know, just hanging out and eating some more food. We are now making our way to Tonkatsu Tamafuji. It's considered one of the best tonkatsu places in Hawaii. If you don't know what tonkatsu is, it's basically a fried and breaded pork cutlet. And so we were lucky to be able to find a reservation opening for this place only about 2 days ago. But usually most people would have to make a reservation in advance, about a month in advance, for Tonkatsu Tamafuji. So if you are curious or you want to try it out, make a reservation on their online website well in advance. We just finished our meal at Tonkatsu Tamafuji. We got the recommended pork loin set and also the shrimp oyster set. So both of those sets come with miso soup and rice. And so we thought the tonkatsu was very crispy, and it's probably one of the best tonkatsus we've had in the United States. But in terms of like the overall meal, I think we prefer the Thai meal more than this meal, mostly because for me the Thai meal that we had about 2 days ago was better, because I mostly like spicy and kind of like sour food, and so I think the Thai meal was better. But overall this meal is definitely very good. There's nothing that we can say that is bad about this meal. All the food was properly cooked. It was very crispy, and you know, all the sauces and the miso soups were tasty, and you know, there's everything, even the atmosphere of the place was, it felt like authentically Japanese. All the people who worked there were nice, so we really enjoyed the meal. However, I think the Thai meal that we had at King of Thai Boat Noodle is still the most delicious meal that we've had in Hawaii so far. For a short dessert snack, we got Il Gelato. It's on the corner down the street next to our Airbnb, and we got the brown sugar boba and the strawberry lemonade sorbet. We also got it in a fresh cone, and we thought that the strawberry lemonade was okay. It was kind of on the sour side, but the brown sugar boba flavor was definitely the highlight of the gelato place here. I think we would recommend going there and trying the brown sugar boba. The flavor is very milky, but it also has a brown sugar, and there's little boba balls in the gelato. So if you're around the area, probably check it out. Try the brown sugar boba flavor. We just ate the garlic shrimp at Ebinomi. It's near the Marugame Udon in Waikiki, and we think the garlic shrimp here is probably the best garlic shrimp we've had in Hawaii. It's quite a bit better than the one from Giovanni's Shrimp Truck. This one is also about $17 or $18. It's not much food, but the quality of the shrimp and the taste of the shrimp is way superior than anything we've had else in Hawaii. So we really recommend trying out the garlic shrimp at Ebinomi. We started our last full day in Waikiki in Chinatown. We went to Morning Catch, which is a poke bowl place in a market in Chinatown. It's basically a food stall that serves poke from fresh fish that they caught, recently. So we got the hamachi and the ahi tuna poke bowl, and we think it's probably one of the freshest and best poke bowls that we've had in Hawaii so far. So we highly recommend, if you have a chance to visit Chinatown in the morning, to visit Morning Catch. After our morning snack at Morning Catch, we decided to get a full meal at Lamb's Kitchen. Lamb's Kitchen is a noodle shop specializing in different types of noodle and different types of meat. We got the braised duck noodle in soup, and then we also got the beef flank and tendon. What is it? Look fun. So look fun is basically a flat rice noodle, a thick flat rice noodle, and the egg noodle that they use is just a typical Chinese egg noodle that's a bit softer than normal. And so we really enjoyed the food there. The food wasn't too salty, and the noodles were cooked properly, and the meats were very fresh and tender and soft. So we thought that it was a very good place for us to visit for breakfast, and we would go there again next time if we're in Chinatown. The real star of Lamb's Kitchen is actually the chili oil. The chili oil really enhanced the flavor and also the kick out of the noodles at Lamb's Kitchen. So we thought that the chili oil was a necessity for us to enjoy the Lamb's Kitchen noodles. So maybe if you don't like spicy food, you might not find the noodles at Lamb's Kitchen to be all that special, because without the chili oil, the food is a little bit bland. We tried the Lychee Dreams drink at Jamba Juice at the Ala Moana Center. It's basically, the drink doesn't look like anything from the picture. The drink looks a little more white-ish than the orangey drink that they show in the picture, but the drink itself is very refreshing. It does have a lychee pineapple-y flavor that we find very satisfying and quenches our thirst for like a tropical drink. The Lychee Dreams drink does melt really fast, so you should probably get a small size because the medium is kind of a lot. Our final meal in Oahu was Han no Daidokoro. This is a kind of like a yakiniku meat place, barbecue place where you grill your own meat. So we got the Miyazaki beef with the chef's cut, which has like 5 different cuts of meat, and then we also got the bibimbap and some sesame salad and the Miyazaki beef sushi, so 2 pieces of that. And so when we ate the food, I think the best thing was the Miyazaki sushi. That was the most memorable piece of the meal. Everything else was, it was bad. Some of the cuts were bad, and some of the cuts were pretty good, really good, but not like the best that we've had. So I think like if you are somebody who's from California, I think there are better choices for this type of barbecue in California. So you don't really have to try it out in Hawaii, because it's not really anything particularly special about the barbecue or the meat quality here. Even the Miyazaki, some of the Miyazaki cuts aren't that much better than the US Wagyu cuts that we've had in California at other Korean barbecue places. So if you are from California or a place that has a lot of Korean barbecue, I think you're better off just going to those places rather than spending quite a bit of money at Han no Daidokoro. So I think that's pretty much what we can say about this place. So our total bill was about $230 for 2 people. We didn't get the set menu. We just ordered a la carte, but a lot of the set menu overlapped with what we ordered. So that's that. Thank you. The highlight of our second trip to Oahu was definitely the Polynesian Cultural Center. And the second highlight of our trip was, funny enough, just the Thai restaurant that we ate at in Waikiki, near Ala Moana. And so another thing that we experienced on this trip that we didn't really experience as much on our first trip was that on this trip we felt that everybody was a lot nicer. The service that we got at restaurants was a lot better, and so overall we really enjoyed this trip. It was very comfortable and relaxing, and you know, we got used to using the bus system, and we're used to like walking around Honolulu and Waikiki, so this trip was definitely a lot more comfortable and relaxing for us. So hope you enjoyed our videos on our Oahu trip, and thanks for watching.